The Airvo2 is a humidifier with integrated flow generator that can deliver high-flow, warmed and humidified respiratory gases to spontaneously breathing patients through a variety of patient interfaces. The Airvo2 system consists of the Airvo2 humidifier, which can deliver humidified respiratory gases at flows from 2 to 60 litres per minute, and oxygen concentrations from 21 to 100%. A water chamber, where the respiratory gases are warmed and humidified. A breathing tube, heated to minimise condensation. And a variety of OptiFlow patient interfaces, including our adult nasal cannula, junior nasal cannula, tracheostomy interface, and mask interface adapter. The whole system is integrated on a mobile pole stand for convenient bedside treatment. Let's take a closer look at how it works. Room air and oxygen are drawn by a quiet motor through a filter into the back of the Airvo2. The air and oxygen are mixed as they travel past temperature, flow and oxygen sensors. The motor drives this mixed respiratory gas into the water chamber. A float in the chamber maintains the water level at a fixed height. A heater plate warms the water, which in turn warms and humidifies the respiratory gas passing through the water chamber to body temperature and humidity. The respiratory gas leaving the chamber is regulated to a dew point temperature, normally set to 37 degrees Celsius. This system is a heated passover humidifier, so water in the humidified air inside the chamber is a vapour. If we could magnify this approximately 10 million times, we would see the vapour is a gas of individual water molecules, each more than 100,000 times smaller than the diameter of a human hair. Viruses are much larger than water molecules. Here is a flu virus for comparison. Water molecules are so small, in fact, that as a vapour, they cannot transport bacteria or viruses. In comparison to water vapour, water droplets are many times larger than viruses or bacteria. The same flu virus is tiny when compared with a water droplet, which means this water can easily carry a variety of bacteria and viruses along with the respiratory gas. So, by using water vapour for humidification instead of water droplets, the Airvo2 can reduce the risk of infection. This water vapour, from the headspace in the water chamber, enters the breathing tube through the port on the top of the Airvo2. A heated wire inside the tube warms the humidified air to prevent condensation, maintaining temperature and water vapour content all the way to the patient. An integrated sensor at the end of the breathing tube allows precise control of the temperature and humidity of the respiratory gas supplied. No external probes or sensors are required. The respiratory gas is delivered using an OptiFlow patient interface. If using the nasal cannula, the patient can eat, drink and talk during therapy, which may help patient comfort and compliance. The Airvo2, together with our OptiFlow range of patient interfaces, provides a versatile and easy-to-use system for delivering humidified high-flow therapy. Before the Airvo2 humidifier can be used on a patient, you must ensure that it has been cleaned and disinfected. Check that the clean storage cover is sealed and its label is completed when you collect an Airvo2 humidifier from storage. Some hospitals leave the red disinfection tube in place instead of using the clean storage cover to indicate cleaning and disinfection has been carried out. Along with the Airvo2 humidifier, you will need the following accessories: an Airvo tube and chamber kit, which contains an autofill water chamber, a chamber adapter, and heated breathing tube, a bag of sterile water, and a patient interface. A number of interfaces are available for use with the Airvo2, including both an adult and junior nasal cannula, tracheostomy interface, and mask interface adapter. Please read the separate user instructions for the patient interface that are to be used, including all warnings. These accessories need to be replaced for every new patient. For prolonged treatment, replace the tube and chamber kit and adult interface every 14 days, and for junior interfaces every 7 days. Open the packaging of the tube and chamber kit. Remove the blue port caps from the chamber by pulling the tear tab upwards, then remove the bracket holding the water supply tube. Fit the supplied adapter over the two vertical ports on the chamber and push on fully. Then clip the water supply tube into position. Fit the water chamber to the unit by pushing down the finger guard and sliding the chamber on, carefully aligning with the blue chamber port ends. Push the chamber on firmly until the finger guard clicks into place. Attach the sterile water bag to the hanging bracket at least 20 centimeters above the unit and push the bag spike into the fitting at the bottom of the bag. Open the vent cap on the side of the bag spike. The chamber will now automatically fill to the required level and maintain that level until the water bag is empty. To ensure continual humidification, always ensure that the water chamber and/or water bag are not allowed to run out of water. Check that water flows into the chamber and is maintained below the maximum water level line. If the water level rises above the maximum water level line, replace the chamber immediately. Next, connect the heated breathing tube. One end of the heated breathing tube has a blue plastic sleeve. Lift the sleeve and slide the connector onto the unit. Push the sleeve down to lock. Choose the appropriate interface. The Airvo2 is now ready for the patient. With setup complete, the Airvo2 is now ready for your patient. The Airvo2's power cord should be well secured to the rear of the unit before plugging into the mains utility power socket. Switch on the Airvo2 by pressing and holding the on-off button for 5 seconds. The unit will show you whether it is safe for use on a new patient. A green light indicates that the Airvo2 has been disinfected correctly since it was last used. However, do not use the Airvo2 on a patient if the orange light appears. You must dispose of the consumables and reprocess this Airvo2 before it can be used. After confirming the Airvo2 has been correctly reprocessed, you will need to adjust the patient's settings to match the treatment required. The current values are displayed on the summary screen. dew point temperature, respiratory gas flow rate, and oxygen concentration. Each value will pulse until reaching its set point. To make an adjustment, press and release the mode button to cycle through the set point screens until you reach the desired option. Selecting the right dew point temperature will provide more comfortable and effective treatment for your patient. A dew point close to body temperature at 37 degrees Celsius is recommended, though you may like to reduce the dew point temperature if the patient complains that the gas temperature is too warm. Press and release the mode button repeatedly until the target dew point temperature is displayed. This padlock symbol indicates that the setting is locked to prevent accidental changes. Press and hold the up and down buttons for 3 seconds to unlock the setting. The lock will disappear and be replaced by an arrow showing the minimum and maximum accessible settings. Press and release the up or down button to choose the new setting. When you have finished, press and release the mode button to lock the setting again. The lock will reappear. After 10 seconds, the Airvo will return to the summary screen. The current dew point temperature will pulse until it reaches the new target. The respiratory gas flow rate can be adjusted the same way. Press and release the mode button again, or wait 10 seconds to return to the summary screen. For patients that require oxygen as part of their treatment, you can connect the wall supply to the oxygen inlet port on the side of the unit now. Make sure you push the oxygen tube firmly onto this connection port. Be sure to read the oxygen warnings in the Airvo2 user manual before using oxygen. In particular, never have oxygen flowing through the unit when the Airvo2 is turned off. When changing the oxygen concentration, press and release the mode button repeatedly until the large oxygen view is displayed. Using a built-in oxygen sensor, the Airvo2 reports the concentration of oxygen in the respiratory gas flow as you adjust the flow on the wall supply. Simply adjust the oxygen flow until the desired oxygen concentration is displayed. While waiting for the unit to warm up, fit the appropriate interface, ensuring the head strap is not touching the ears. The Airvo2 can be used with a variety of patient interfaces. Read the separate user instructions for the patient interface that will be used, including all warnings. When the Ready for Use symbol appears on the display, connect the patient interface to the heated breathing tube. Attach the interface to the breathing tube by simply pushing the 2 connectors together until you hear a click. The gas delivered will feel warm when the patient first uses the unit. This is typical. They should simply continue to breathe normally. If the patient will be using an Optiflow Junior nasal cannula, you must activate Junior mode. Press and hold the mode button for 5 seconds until the Junior mode symbol appears. The Airvo2 will automatically adjust the dew point temperature and gas flow to safe limits for the Junior interface. The dew point temperature is limited to 34 degrees Celsius and the respiratory gas flow rate is limited to 25 litres per minute. To deactivate Junior mode, follow the same procedure. Hold the mode button for 5 seconds. As with any medical device, you may need to make adjustments to the Airvo2 as the patient's condition changes. Keep in mind that the patient's breathing pattern can affect the fraction of inspired oxygen. For this reason, you should always use a pulse oximeter and adjust the oxygen flow rate to maintain the appropriate blood oxygen saturation in your patient. The Airvo2 has been designed to be as reliable as possible and will automatically raise an alarm when a problem is detected. The cause of the alarm is shown on the display. Silence the alarm with the mute button. In this example, the alarm was raised because a blockage has been detected. Once the blockage has been found and corrected, the Airvo2 will continue delivering therapy to the patient. The Airvo2 must be cleaned and disinfected between patients. This should take place as soon as possible after use. The reprocessing steps can be found in the disinfection manual or on the swing tag. These steps must be carried out between patients: cleaning, high-level disinfection, and storage. Cleaning is particularly important. You need to remove debris so that disinfection works effectively. It's easiest if you leave the Airvo2 on the mobile pole stand. Switch off the unit and unplug from the mains utility power socket. Remove the breathing tube, water chamber and water bag and safely dispose of them. For cleaning, you will need a cleaning sponge stick, approved cleaning wipes, a clean, damp, lint-free cloth, and an approved cleaning solution. Follow the manufacturer's instructions when using any cleaning solution, diluting it if necessary before use. Avoid toxic, abrasive or corrosive cleaners that may damage the Airvo2. The disinfection manual or your local Fisher & Paykel office can provide advice on appropriate cleaning products. The most important part to clean is the outlet elbow between the right chamber port and breathing tube port. Do not clean the left-hand chamber port, as this can damage the non-return valve located at this port. First, dip the cleaning sponge stick in a solution of warm water and mild detergent. Thoroughly clean the outlet elbow from both ends as far as possible, continuously rotating the sponge stick. Rinse the cleaning sponge stick under running water and, using the same rotation action, remove any residue from the outlet elbow. Discard the cleaning sponge stick. If using a disposable cloth, thoroughly clean the outlet elbow from both ends as far as possible, continuously rotating the cloth with your finger. Use an alcohol wipe or apply an alcohol solution to a clean, damp, disposable lint-free cloth to wipe the outside surfaces of the unit. The next step is high-level disinfection using the red disinfection tube. This process heats the outlet elbow to at least 87 degrees Celsius for more than 30 minutes. Minimize the risk of cross-contamination by starting the disinfection cycle immediately after cleaning. First, connect the red disinfection tube to the Airvo2. One end of the disinfection tube has a blue plastic connector. Lift the sleeve and slide the connector onto the unit. Push the sleeve down to lock. Connect the red end of the disinfection tube to the left-hand chamber port and push fully into position. Then fix the blue filter cap securely onto the right chamber port. The Airvo2 is ready for disinfection. Connect the power cable to the mains utility power socket and start the disinfection cycle by holding the on-off button for 3 seconds until the unit beeps. The Airvo2 will turn on and run a series of calibration checks, raising an alarm if any problems are detected. For example, you may be prompted to change the air filter. If so, remove the filter cover from the back of the Airvo2, discard the old filter and insert a new one. Make sure the filter cover is properly attached. Once everything checks out, the disinfection cycle will begin. It will take 55 minutes to complete, and the display will count down the time remaining. If any problems arise during disinfection, start the cycle again. If the problem persists, refer to the disinfection manual for more information. Once the countdown reaches 0, the disinfection cycle has completed successfully and the disinfection number is displayed. Finally, turn the Airvo2 off by holding down the power button. Disinfection is complete. You can remove the disinfection tube at this stage and seal the Airvo2 with a clean storage cover. If you are not using the clean storage cover, you may prefer to leave the disinfection tube in place for storage. In either case, it is best to leave the Airvo2 on the stand to protect it from bumps and knocks. Write your name, the disinfection date and the disinfection number on the space provided on the clean storage cover. Store the unit and disinfection kit in an area suitable for medical devices, which is clean, dry and dust-free. Never store the unit until it has been cleaned and disinfected. The Airvo2 is now ready for the next patient.